All right, so we're going to use this chart here. This is going to be our major triads. And we're going to go over some of these and kind of how I like to exercise with this. So it's got all your stuff. Your root is in red, your third is in green, your fifth is in blue. Down here, we've got a little index talking about which finger, right? Index, middle ring, pinky. That circle just means there's a bar. Sometimes that index finger is going to bar some stuff, okay? But what we're going to do is we're going to start up at this pattern, and we're going to work our way vertically. We're going to do these three. As you see down on the fourth, it just repeats past the 12th fret, okay? Then we're going to work horizontally this way, and we're going to use those corresponding fingers. So download this PDF. Okay, I'm going to have the link for this in the description, or you can send me a message and get it. You can see in yellow we've got our string groupings highlighted. We're going to start 6-5-4, then go 5-4-3, and etc. Okay, so now these can move just like bar chords can. So if I play an A major bar chord, I'm going to stay in the key of A, doing all of these triads, okay? If I wanted to do this whole thing, that whole chart would just be shifted to whatever key we're going to be in, right? But let's start down here with this first form. We've got pinky, 5th fret, A. You have a minor third on the, or I'm sorry, a major third on the bottom, and then minor third on top. So this is a root position. Most of these slanted shapes are root position triads. So it'll help you find your root, which is A, okay? Now from there, in my mind, I want this 1 to come up to 3, okay? And all these notes are coming up a third, but I'm using this as my reference. Okay, the next form, it's not gonna be my pinky on the bottom. It's gonna be my ring finger on the bottom, and then I'm gonna bar these next two, right? And that's all we're doing. We're taking our root and moving it to the top of the triad and making our third on the bottom. Now if we go down one more row, okay, my third's gonna come up to that 5th, and I'm gonna play it with my ring finger still, okay? That's convenience. Just slide your ring finger right up, lay your pinky down right underneath it, and then do this, just like you're gonna do that bar, right? But just that those bottom 3 strings. Every time you hear me play 3 strings, I'm just going thumb, pointer, middle, okay? Even when we go up to the next group and the next group and the next group, my thumb is like my bass, okay? So once you get those forms, go back and forth until you're comfortable, right? I'm really focused on how my pinky's on 5, and then my ring reaches 9. My ring stays on, reaches 12. Okay? That's our first group of triads on strings 6, 5, and 4. Now we want to go horizontally. So it's the same kind of thing, okay? Visualize kind of like I have a G just slid up. This A right here is going to move up an octave to here. Okay? Oh, sorry. I'm going to pull it off and then just play strings 5, 4, 3. Right? Okay, next, this finger is going to come off. I'm going to come up, play strings 4, 3, 2, just a bar, A chord, A major chord. Then my finger comes off. I'm letting go of this bottom note, and then I'm going to grab just the A, the note above it, and then we're going to play open E here. So that's another root position triad. Or okay, so that was that first row horizontally, and we want to be able to do that with all of them. So here's our first pattern. Let's move up to the next set of strings, which we just did. Okay, but now we're going to go vertical on strings 5, 4, and 3. And you recognize this shape before. Just like on the lower strings, after this bar and ring shape is that E major looking shape, or it's where your A major bar chord is, right? So let's practice just those two forms. 4th fret, barring these top two. Leave that ring finger on the string that it's on. Just slide it up to 7, lay the pinky down, lay that ring. Now we're going to go up for the last shape, and it's our slanted shape. Slanted shape, the root is on the bottom. We know we're in A, so we're going to do pinky again. Slanted shape. These shapes are identical to the shapes on strings 6, 5, and 4. They're just scrolled around once, right? So next we've got this vertically. Now we're going to do this. Okay, this is from our first video. The root is in the middle here. Now slanted shape, root's on the bottom. Then our crooked shape. Okay, I find the A here, and it's almost like I'm playing like a D minor shape, or sometimes I'll bar. So pointer bar, ring finger on the bottom, ring finger stays on the same string on the bottom. I grab this, fret my index in between them. Okay, strings 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now our last set of strings is the top strings. Okay, above our A here we had this root position. From here, the next shape up, I like to slide my index up and bar the top two and play kind of like we're going to play an F chord, F major chord. And remember where our bar is. We're just grabbing those top 3. And from here, we're going to play what looks like a D major shape, but this is the 3rd. We're in 3, 4. We should be up here. Or, okay, and then check your chart. I know I'm kind of moving quick and the fingerings can get confusing. On the chart, I just bar all 3 and then I raise that 3rd. Or I'm sorry, that middle note, half step. Right? It's kind of like my fingers are doing this. Down here, it's just right. And And then from any one of these shapes, you want to be able to just shift and go horizontally. So recognize that caged system. Okay, so here's the G from this A here. If I build, okay, and we get all the triads that are in that shape. Now if I go octave, build our D chord there. Right after that D chord shape, or here, right, we have the C shape. Okay, it's kind of like this finger's the capo, and then I'm playing a C major chord with these 3 fingers. But instead of barring all of it, I'm just picking up the note that I'm missing in the middle. Okay, if you can play the C major shape like that with these fingers, that's gonna be those triads. Makes sense? Here's your slanted shape with the A on the bottom. Okay, then if I take that off and just play here, strings 4, 3, 2. Okay, then same thing. Then play strings 1, 2, 3. Each time I'm just adding a note into that C chord. Once you get to the bottom, you're just gonna pick up this note, and I like to leave my pinky where it's at. So here, then just bring that ring down and have the middle pick up that one. Right? There's your C shape. Okay, and then from the C, we're right back up to our A again. If we pivot A shape, if we pivot on this A and play here's our bar, right? There's our G again, and it just keeps going. All right.